I will pray in Kiswahili. Acha tuamini na tuombe. Mungu Baba, Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu aishaye milele, tunakuja mbele zako na shukrani tele Baba. Tunasema ni asante kwa ajili ya siku ya leo inayofaa na mfalme wa ajabu ambayo ulipanga kabla ya kusaliwa kwetu. Tunakushukuru, tunakutukuza kwa ajili ya wakeni wetu wote ambao wako hapa kwa ajili ya kuanzisha strategic plan yetu. Tunakushukuru mfalme wa ajabu, mpango zote ambazo ziko mbele yetu tunaweka mkononi mwako. Mkutano huu Bwana, tunaomba iwe ya kufana na iwe ya kuleta manufaa na utukufu kwako Jehova. Tunapoenda kuzindua strategic plan ya 2026 to 2031, mfalme wa ajabu kuwe pamoja nasi. Yale yote ambayo tunaenda kupanga kwa ajili ya mipango ya kuendelesha organization yetu, mfalme wa ajabu, tunakabidhi mkononi mwako. Tunasema wale wote ambao watahusika katika huo mpango, mfalme, stakeholders wote, staff members, board members, na wakini watu wote Bwana, tunaweka mkononi mwako. Uinuliwe na upewe sifa, uabudiwe, maana sifa zote ni zako, na ni katika jina la Yesu Kristo naomba na kuamini. Asanteni sana, tukae.
Thank you, Mary. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Isendi. I serve in the board of Kituo cha Sheria, and I want to welcome all of you joining us for this very auspicious occasion. I will be emceeing today together with my colleague here. Conrad, you can introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I come from Mombasa, so when we look at the weather at this hour, it's usually in the morning. So good afternoon once more. My name is Conrad Atiang. I work for Kituo cha Sheria, and we will be here together with Grace emceeing the event. Karibuni sana.
So ladies and gentlemen, again, you will stand so that we can have the national anthem, and then we move forward with our opening. So our team at the corner, are we ready?
Mungu yetu,
Thank you very much. We can move to the East African.
Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu vinyozo yetu, jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano iwe msingi wa umoja wetu, na tulinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you. Let's be seated. So we will start off our program with some remarks from our partners. So Conrad, you can be able to introduce them in that order.
Thank you so much. First, in line of today's speeches, before I do that, allow me to just welcome Dr. Kimeli to come and just officially, on behalf of the chair of the Kituo board, our ID is here. Let me welcome our executive director, Dr. Wambua Kituku, who will call Dr. Kimeli to officially, on behalf of the chair of the board, to officially open today's function. Daktari, give him a round of applause.
Distinguished guests present, our board members, Kituo members and staff, and all the participants today. So good afternoon. Okay, so take this opportunity first to welcome you to Kituo grounds. Feel at home. We are happy to host you, and we take a lot of pride in having you join us in this auspicious occasion of the launch of our strategic plan. My role is very simple, to welcome one of our board members, our board treasurer, Dr. Elkanah Kimeli, who will then officially invite all of you and officially kickstart the program for this afternoon. More shall be said later. So Dr. Kimeli, the floor is yours. Karibu. Na makofi kwake.
Thank you, Edi. Our guests, our partners, a fellow board member, the Kituo staff, and all invited guests. Good afternoon. My name is Elkanah Kimeli. I serve Kituo as a treasurer. On behalf of our chairman, who is on his way, I wish to welcome all of you to this occasion. We don't take it for granted that you found time to join us. We do really appreciate, and we look forward to a more engaging partnership going forward. I'll be as brief as that. Thank you. Karibuni.
Let's give Daktari a better clap. What Dr. Kimeli did not tell you is also the treasurer of the board. At this point, allow me to bring on board the representative from GJN, who is going to give his remarks virtually. I don't know if we can connect to Vivek Maru. There he is.
Mambo,
Yes. So
can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay?
There you go. Yes, please proceed.
Okay. Mambo, habari zenu. Namaste. You guys can hear me all right? I bring greetings from Namati and the Grassroots Justice Network. That is what GJN stands for. And I'm seriously fired up to be part of the launch of Kituo Sheria's strategic plan. 14 years ago, Kituo was part of a small group of organizations that came together to create what eventually was called the Legal Empowerment Network, and today it's called the Grassroots Justice Network. Today, that community, which Kituo helped establish, has members from over 180 countries, representing over 4,700 organizations. It's a really important global community, the largest community of justice defenders in the world. And over the years, I've had the honor of working with 4 Kituo executive directors, Priscilla Nokabi, Gertrude Angote, Annette Mbogo, and now Dr. Wambua Kituku. And it was wonderful to see Dr. Wambua, your face a moment ago. And I will tell you, I have seen in every one of them grit and dedication and passion for justice. And I have felt that spirit whenever I have interacted with anyone on the Kituo team. It is an extraordinary institution. And Kituo is a pioneer of this idea of legal empowerment, which is basically the idea that law should not just be something in the hands of lawyers or judges. It should be something in the hands of everyone. And that idea of legal empowerment, that is the idea that unites our global network. We didn't realize it 14 years ago, I don't think. At least I didn't realize it. But we were in the early part of what has been a global recession for democracy, for freedom, for basic rights. There's an organization called Freedom House, and they track data across multiple countries every year. And according to Freedom House, 2025 was the 20th consecutive year when freedom declined globally. And that retreat from rights and democracy has perhaps been nowhere more stark than in the United States, which is where I'm calling from. The US government has been prosecuting a war in Iran that, in my view, is illegal and immoral. At home, armed immigration officers have been disappearing people, including children, from workplaces, from schools, from their homes. And the US government passed a law recently that offers tax breaks to the wealthiest of $2 trillion and cuts $1 trillion in basic benefits like healthcare and food stamps for the poor. It's literally robbing from the poor to give to the rich. And I know that Kenya too has experienced versions of that democratic recession, including most recently a concerning pattern of the executive not respecting judicial decisions. These trends, they pose grave dangers to human civilization. They are really scary. And we have got to find our way towards a deeper, more successful version of democracy, one that makes us more equal, not less equal, one that lifts people up rather than preying on them, one that can act effectively on common challenges like climate change, conflict, and the need to regulate artificial intelligence. I believe firmly that legal empowerment is part of the solution. It's part of how we build the kinds of democracies that we need. And a core strategy for legal empowerment is community paralegals. Community paralegals are organizers who can be a bridge between law and the people who need it. Kituo pioneered community paralegals in Kenya in the 1970s. It's one of the organizations that has the oldest history with community paralegals in the world. And I just wanted to share some recent data. My colleagues and I recently analyzed interviews with about 100 what we call justice seekers, which are people who received support from community paralegals to tackle a justice problem they face. And these were grave problems. It was land grabs, unlawful pollution, denial of identity documents. And the justice seekers were from 3 different countries: Kenya, India, Myanmar. And despite facing such tough challenges, 90% reported after working with community paralegals that they had developed greater confidence in engaging government institutions. 92% said that they were either willing to help or had already helped others facing similar problems. And in all 3 countries, people came together from their specific injustices to analyze patterns about how the system wasn't working well and envision how it could work better. and to fight together for improvements in laws and systems. So they went from knowing and using the law to tackle a specific problem to coming together and shaping the law to build better systems. And a notable example is in Kenya. Over the last 60 years, Kenya has had a discriminatory system with respect to ID documents, where basically Muslim Kenyans have been subject to a discriminatory vetting process. And over a 12-year period, community paralegals helped 30,000 Kenyans navigate discriminatory vetting and obtain ID documents, which was transformative for them and for their families. They were able to vote and apply for jobs and get bank loans and take part in Kenyan society in a way that they never had been before. But moreover, those 30,000 people, they led a movement of Kenyans from across the country, Muslim and non-Muslim, who demanded a more inclusive system for all. And in February of last year, President Ruto abolished vetting committees, which was a historic milestone. When we started on that, the government wouldn't even acknowledge that vetting was a problem. And so they went from acknowledging it to asking us to help address it, to finally abolishing vetting committees. That work is not done. There's still ways in which discrimination shows up, but it was a historic milestone, and it was proof of the power of legal empowerment. I think many people in Kenya, many people around the world today experience the law as broken. And it's true, the law is broken. But the message of Kituo cha Sheria, the message that is in this new strategic plan, and the message of the Grassroots Justice Network is this: if we know law, we can use it, and if we use it, we can fix it. So I am truly honored to walk with Kituo into the future, to implement the strategic plan, and to pursue that vision of a deeper version of democracy together. Thank you so much for having me today.
Let's give Vivek a better clap than that. Thank you so much. At this point, I'm just waiting for some connection to happen. But I'm happy to inform you that we are also being joined by the representative of Africa Alliance for People-Centered Justice, whose name is quite long. So I will try, as we get a connection to him, and introduce him as Aking Bolahan Adeniran, who is a former state prosecutor for Nigeria, an ICC prosecutor, and a global rule of law strategist for an exclusive mentor office hour at COSI Career Impact Summit for Career Accelerator ticket holders. Today, he speaks on behalf of the African Alliance for the People-Centered Justice, AAPCJ. I don't know if we have him ready, Ronnie? Please bear with us. We have guests joining from far and wide. But as we wait, may I just mention that we have been joined, although we'll be officially welcomed to come and greet all of you by the chair of Kituo cha Sheria Board, who is here with us. Let's give him a little round of applause. We have also been joined by the chair of Nairobi branch of the Law Society, Mr. Eric Kivuva. Let's give him a round of applause. I have been informed that in our midst we have the presence of the executive director for FIDA Kenya. So let's give her a round of applause. I see that she's being moved to a different location. I've seen Dr. Kibet. Yes, Dr. Kibet. I think we will also need to move Dr. Kibet closer to the podium from the Kenya School of Law. Let's give Dr. Kibet a round of applause. ZTech Law School. Yes. Yeah. So karibu sana daktari. Oh, sorry. There we go. Let's go, guys.
Former Subnational Attorney General from Nigeria, now serving as the Regional Coordinator of the African Alliance for People-Centered Justice. First, let me express my regrets for not being able to join you in person in Kenya. June has been one of those months that make me question why technology is not yet at the point where a person can physically be in 2 or 3 places at the same time. Nevertheless, it is my honor to join you with this recorded message at the launch of Kituo's strategic plan under the timely and inspiring theme, Advancing People-Centered Justice in Kenya and Beyond. On behalf of the African Alliance for People-Centered Justice, I congratulate Kituo for this important milestone and for the courage, clarity, and commitment that this new strategic plan or direction represents. Today is not only a moment to unveil a plan, it's a moment to reaffirm a vision that justice must begin with people, with their everyday realities, their struggles, their dignity, and their aspirations. Justice cannot be meaningful if it is distant, expensive, slow, or incomprehensible. It must be accessible, it must be responsive, and above all, it must be centered on the lives of the people it is meant to serve. For decades, Kituo has stood as a powerful example of what this vision looks like in practice. Through its work, Kituo has shown that justice is not only found in courtrooms, legal texts, or formal institutions, it is also found in communities, in homes, in workplaces, in refugee camps, in informal settlements, and in all the places where people confront injustice in their daily lives. This is why the work of legal empowerment, which Kituo has long championed, is so important. Legal empowerment recognizes that people are not merely passive recipients of legal services. They are rights holders, agents of change, and active participants in changing and shaping justice outcomes. It is about equipping individuals and communities with the knowledge, tools, confidence, and support they need to understand the law, claim their rights, resolve disputes, and hold institutions accountable. This approach is transformative because it closes the gap between the promise of justice and the lived experience of ordinary people. It helps ensure that justice is not reserved for the few, but made real for the many. Kituo's legacy in this regard is profound. By standing with workers, women, refugees, tenants, prisoners, marginalized communities, and countless others, Kituo has served to build a model of justice that is practical, humane, and deeply rooted in people's needs. Its work reminds us that legal aid is essential, but legal empowerment goes further. It enables people not only to seek help, but also to know, use, and shape the law for themselves. That is the heart of people-centered justice, and that is why this strategic plan matters so much. At a time when societies across Africa and the world are grappling with inequality, exclusion, displacement, economic hardship, and growing pressure on justice systems, we need institutions that are willing to reimagine justice from the ground up. We need strategies that move beyond rhetoric and commit to inclusion, accountability, innovation, and partnership. We need to invest in justice that reaches the last mile. Kituo's new strategic plan offers precisely that kind of leadership. Its theme signals not only ambition for Kenya, but solidarity with a broader continental and global movement. A movement that recognizes that people-centered justice is essential to democratic governance, social cohesion, sustainable development, and human dignity. As the African Alliance for People-Centered Justice, we deeply value this leadership and partnership. Across the continent, we're seeing growing recognition that community justice workers, paralegals, legal aid providers, social justice organizations, and grassroots actors are indispensable to building fairer societies. They are often the first point of contact for people facing injustice. They translate rights into action. They bridge communities and institutions, and they help make justice systems more trusted, more inclusive, and more effective. This is why partnership is so important. No single institution can deliver people-centered justice alone. It requires collaboration across government, the judiciary, civil society, academia, communities, and development partners. It requires listening to those closest to injustice and designing responses with them, not only for them. It requires sustained political will, adequate financing, supportive policy environments, and recognition of grassroots justice actors as essential actors in the justice ecosystem. So as we launch this strategic plan, let us also renew our collective responsibility. Let us support approaches that place people at the center of justice reform. Let us invest in legal empowerment as a pillar of access to justice. Let us strengthen the community-based actors who make justice visible and reachable for so many. And let us work together to ensure that justice is not an abstract ideal, but a lived reality for every person. To Kituo, thank you for your leadership, your service, and your unwavering belief that justice must belong to everyone. To all stakeholders gathered here today, this strategic plan is an invitation not only to celebrate but to act, to deepen partnerships, to scale what works, to protect what matters, and to advance a future where people-centered justice is not the exception, but the norm in Kenya and beyond. The African Alliance for People-Centered Justice stands with you in that journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your clap. Allow me to also recognize a few more people who, on behalf of the acting CEO of the National Legal Aid Services, Fresia Gidumbi, we have a State Counsel, Mercy Gikunda. Let's give her a round of applause. I must also apologize that I had seen Deputy Director of Prosecutions, Mr. Joseph Riungu, who is seated somewhere at the back. So please, Mr. Riungu, just wave for everyone to see. He is here in his capacity and also in a representative capacity for the Honorable, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Renson Ingonga. Karibuni sana, sana tena sana. I've also seen one of our board members. Wasalimie tu, I know your time will come. At this point, I want to invite, also joining us virtually on the platform, is the representative of the African Center of Excellence for Access to Justice, Mr. Andrew Kananga. Andrew Kananga is currently the Executive Director of the Legal Aid Forum in Rwanda, a position that he has held since 2008 from the year 2004. Andrew was a senior legal advisor to the National Semi-Traditional Courts, Gacaca, that were charged with the trials of the people suspected of having committed genocide in Rwanda. In 2012, Andrews was among the 3 legal experts nominated by the Ministry of Justice in Rwanda to oversee the development of a legal aid policy in Rwanda. Andrews holds a postgraduate diploma in legal practice from the Institute of Legal Practice and Development of Rwanda, and an LLB from National University of Rwanda, an LLM in Criminal Justice and International Law of Human Rights from University of Rwanda. Andrew has contributed enormously to legal reforms in Rwanda, which ushered in the legal aid policy, the legal aid bill, reform of the Penal Code and the Criminal Procedure Code, and more pieces of legislations that favor access to justice for poor and vulnerable in Rwanda. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrews Kananga. Makofi jamani.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I need someone to tell me. Okay, thank you.
Yes, proceed. Yes.
Thank you very much. Kituo team, Before I begin, allow me to express my sincere appreciation to the boards, management, staff, partners, and the entire Kituo family for inviting me to join on this important occasion. And I want to be formal. I can talk a lot about Kituo and our partnership, whether from the point of view of the Legal Aid Forum, but also from the point of view of African Center, who Kituo is also a founding member. But I want to be very formal and stick to the event today, which is the launch. And I'm here representing the center. I'm particularly honored to convey this goodwill message on behalf of the African Center of Excellence for Access to Justice, a regional platform dedicated to advancing access to justice, legal empowerment, and people-centered justice systems across Africa. We are proud to stand alongside Kituo cha Sheria on this important milestone and to celebrate an institution whose contribution to justice and human rights has inspired practitioners and organizations across the continent. Today, we are not merely launching a strategic plan. We are reaffirming a shared commitment to justice, human rights, human dignity, and the empowerment of those who are too often left behind. As Kituo cha Sheria embarks on this strategic plan 2026-2030, we celebrate more than 5 decades of remarkable service to the people of Kenya and the region at large. Since its establishment in 1973, Kituo has remained a steadfast champion of legal empowerment, access to justice, human rights, and social transformation, not only in Kenya, but in the region. The achievements highlighted in the plan speaks for themselves. Tens of thousands of individuals receiving legal aid and representation, refugees, asylum seekers, and internally displaced persons finding protection and hope, communities empowered through paralegal networks and social justice centers, and countless policy and legislative reforms I beg your pardon. The achievements highlighted in this plan speak for themselves. Tens of thousands of individuals receiving legal aid and legal representation, refugees and asylum seekers, and internally displaced persons finding protection and hope, communities empowered through paralegal networks and social justice centers, and countless policy and legislative reforms influenced in the pursuit of a more just society. These accomplishments have not only changed lives, they have strengthened democratic governance and expanded the promise of justice for all Kenyans. What is particularly inspiring about the strategic plan Kituo is launching today, it is a recognition of the evolving challenges facing our society today. The focus on climate justice, migration governance, economic and social justice, legal aid and empowerment, governance and rule of law, and organizational sustainability demonstrates a forward-looking and holistic understanding of justice. The plan acknowledges that access to justice is inseparable from issues such as climate change, displacement, poverty, inequality, and accountable governance. As partners in the broader access to justice movement, we welcome Kituo's commitment to placing people at the center of its interventions. The vision of integrated people-centered justice resonates strongly with all of us who believe that justice must be accessible, inclusive, responsive, and transformative. We also commend Kituo for recognizing that strong institutions are essential for lasting impact. The emphasis on organizational development, sustainability, innovation, partnership, and resource mobilization will position Kituo to continue serving vulnerable communities effectively in an increasingly complex environment. As this new chapter begins, let me assure Kituo of our continued partnership and solidarity. The aspirations contained in this strategic plan cannot be achieved by one single organization. They require collective efforts, governments, civil society, development partners, academia, communities, and citizens working together to build societies where justice is not a privilege for a few, but a right enjoyed by all of us. On behalf of the African Center, I congratulate Kituo cha Sheria on the launch of this ambitious and timely strategic plan. As institutions that share a common commitment to expanding access to justice and empowering communities, we look forward to strengthening collaboration, promoting learning, across borders and advancing innovative approaches that place people at the center of justice systems. May the next 5 years bring even greater impact, strong partnerships, and meaningful progress towards a just, fair, and equitable society. I wish you every success in the implementation of this strategic plan and in the continued pursuit of justice for all Kenyans and our people across Africa and East Africa in particular. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much for all those warm remarks from our representatives, from our donor agencies. Without further ado, I would like to invite the chair of the board, Mr. Justus Munyidia, who will be able to give his welcoming remarks and introduce the theme of today's event. Karibu sana, Chair.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah. To our guests joining us this afternoon, both virtually and physically, good afternoon. And in our Kiswahili, hamjambo, karibu sana. Na kabla sijaongea, or before I speak, ningetaka sasa ni wajulishe the board members, please come, whom I serve with, board members. I know that Justice Wasilwa is joining us virtually. The other members are here. I'll give them each a chance. Waseme jambo before I could speak. Please come. Wambua, you are the secretary to the board, so just come. All right. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I had already greeted all of you. My name is Sarah Isendi. I serve in the board of Kituo cha Sheria. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Fatuma Dubo. I'm one of the board members at Kituo cha Sheria.
Good afternoon once more. Elkana Kimeli is my name. I am the treasurer. Welcome once more.
Good afternoon once again. Wambua Kituku, I'm the executive director and secretary to the board. Karibuni tena.
Thank you. You can take your seats. I don't know whether Judge Wasilwa will be able to join online to say jambo. She's following us. And we also have Justice PJ Otieno is coming to join us shortly.
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair, I'm online. I don't know if you can hear me.
As I've indicated, my name is Justus Munyidia. I'm serving my final term as the chair of Kituo, and I've been serving for the last 7 years. I still remember with nostalgia on the 19th of June, I think around 2019, when I was requested to steer Kituo to where it is. And I'm very happy that today we are here gathered to celebrate the path that we have taken and to lodge this strategic plan. To our chief guests present, representing Charles Kanjama, Mr. Eric Kivuva, the chair of Nairobi branch, to our development partners, government institutions, my colleagues from the civil society, board members of Kituo, our community paralegals, our staff friends of Kituo, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me pleasure to welcome you all to the launch of Kituo cha Sheria Strategic Plan 2026-2030. We are deeply honored by your presence and grateful for your continued partnership, solidarity, and commitment to advancing access to justice in Kenya. Now, reflecting on Kituo's journey, today is both a moment of celebration and reflection. For more than 50 years or so, Kituo cha Sheria has stood alongside poor and marginalized communities in their pursuit of justice, dignity, and equality. Since its establishment in 1973, Kituo has remained steadfast in its mission to empower communities, defend human rights, and expand access to justice. Over the years, we have witnessed significant information in Kenya's legal and governance landscape. We have contributed to legal reforms, supported public interest litigation, strengthened community justice mechanism, promoted legal empowerment, and worked with countless individuals and communities to claim and protect their rights. This journey would not have been possible without the support of our members, our partners, development partners, our communities, board members, staff, and many champions of justice who have worked with us. This afternoon, you have seen our colleagues from African Center for Excellence speaking to the regional aspect of what Kituo has done. This is not something we are taking for granted. Now, why this strategic plan matters? As we look to the future, we recognize that the challenges facing our communities continue to evolve. Increasingly, inequality, climate-related displacement, shrinking civic space, forced migration, land and resource conflicts, digital exclusion, and barriers to access to justice require innovation and sustainable responses. Now, the strategic plan we launched today is our collective response to these realities. It is a roadmap that will guide Kituo's work over the next 5 years and position the organization to remain relevant, responsive, and impactful. Most importantly, this strategic plan reflects our belief that justice should not only be available in courts and institutions, but should also be accessible within communities. Looking at this strategic plan, we are moving from not only legal aid, but towards legal empowerment. A defining feature of this strategic plan is Kituo's continued transition from legal aid-centered approach to a broader legal empowerment model. While legal aid remains essential, experiences over time have shown us that sustainable justice is achieved when people understand their rights, have the confidence to assert them, and possess the tools necessary to hold duty bearers accountable. This strategic plan, therefore, places communities at the center of change. It seeks to strengthen legal empowerment, support justice mechanism, enhance citizen participation, and amplify the voices of those who are often excluded from decision-making processes. Our priorities for the next 5 years through this strategic plan, Kituo commits to do the following things: expanding access to justice for the poor and marginalized communities, strengthening legal empowerment and community-led justice initiatives, and advancing human rights and constitutionalism, enhancing institutional sustainability and resilience, deepening strategic partnerships and collaborations, promoting innovation and knowledge generation in the justice sector, and responding effectively to emerging socio-economic, environment, and governance challenges. This journey, we can't do it together, and we like to appreciate the partners who have really supported us. Allow me to sincerely appreciate those partners, our civil society partners also, CSO, that's a community-based organization, and institutional allies who have supported Kituo's work over the last 53 years. Your partnership has enabled us to reach communities that would otherwise remain excluded from justice systems. We also like to thank the consultants who came to help us with this plan, the board members, the staff of Kituo, stakeholders, the beneficiaries, who contributed their insight and experiences during the development of this strategic plan. This document reflects a truly participatory process and embodies our shared aspiration for a more just and equitable society. The launch of this strategy plan is a call to action. It is not just an end of a process, it is the beginning of a new chapter for Kituo Sheria. Its success will depend not only on Kituo Sheria, but also on the collective efforts of all stakeholders represented here today. We therefore wish to invite you to continue working with us in this journey. Together, let us strengthen legal empowerment. Together, let us defend human rights. Together, let us expand access to justice. Together, let us build a society where every person lives with dignity and enjoy the protection under the law within this region. As we conclude, we officially launched the Kituo Sheria Strategic Plan. We affirm our commitment to justice, inclusion, accountability, and human dignity. On the behalf of the board and the Kituo cha Sheria family, I thank you for your presence and continued support. I look forward to a continued partnership as we work towards realizing the vision set out in this strategic plan. May God bless you. May God bless Kenya. May God bless Kituo. Thank you very much. Let me invite now the Executive Director, Dr. Kituku, to come take us to the next level. I also want to pass apologies for Director Musongo, who could not attend because he was bereaved. Thank you.
So now, before we launch the strategic plan, we need to put everything into context. So I'll start by first putting the strategic plan to a historical context. As the chair has rightly said, Kituo has been around for 53 years. Coincidentally, Kituo was established in 1973. So I hope you see the rhyme, 53, 73, yeah? In the strategic plan, we've given you a historical timeline of Kituo from 73 to date. But in this very short presentation, and the risk of annoying the MC, who's also my boss, Sarah Essendi, I will talk about Kituo's history in four historical epochs. And the first epoch runs from 1973 to 1990, and that was characterized by a period of establishing and entrenching Kituo as a legal aid organization. And by the way, Kituo started off as a Kituo cha Mashauri ya Sheria before it converted its name to Kituo cha Sheria. And during this period, Kituo became known for providing legal assistance largely to single individuals, what we know as here as single welfare cases. So most of the time it was workers who had been unfairly dismissed, people who had been thrown out of their houses without being given due notice, and yeah, such kind of legal problems. That's what Kituo was known for. Then in 1990, Kituo entered the second stage, which ran up to 2000, and that was a period that was characterized by institutionalization of Kituo. And this happened in several ways. One, Kituo got registered as an NGO under the NGO Coordination Act of 1990 at that time. And secondly, Kituo began employing advocates and therefore started providing these services here. And also related to that, Kituo saw the need to undertake public interest litigation as a way of addressing barriers to justice on one hand, but secondly, addressing those human rights violations that tend to occur at scale, which invariably also had, affected individuals at a personal level. And some of the most notable wins at this time was stopping the demolition of Toy Market by the city council at that time, and also winning land for the community in Majaoni down at the coast. Kituo also opened a decentralized office in Mombasa at that time. Kituo began the journey to legal empowerment by working towards the establishment of a network of paralegals at a national level. That network eventually became what we now know as Paralegal Society of Kenya. Importantly, Kituo got involved in advocacy for a new constitution. So that shows Kituo's period of institutionalization of its work in Kenya. The third period began in 2000 and probably went up to 2015 or thereabout. And this is a period when Kituo started working very hard towards its sustainability. In 2001, Kituo acquired this property. And hopefully this is where the Justice House will be built. It's been a long term vision of Kituo, and we hope this strategic plan will lay the foundation for actualization of that vision. Kituo established a program that focused on policy and legislative advocacy. Initially, it was known as AGCP. And through that program, Kituo now began working towards addressing the systemic roots of injustices through ensuring laws were changed to address injustices or eliminate the risk of injustices. Kituo also entrenched its work in legal empowerment. Instead of Kituo providing representation to people, Kituo started empowering people to represent themselves. And this work was seen in the work that Kituo was doing in prisons, empowering prisoners to become paralegals for self-representation in their own cases, but also training other prisoners to represent themselves. And out of this work, prisoners on their own motion, with support of Kituo, of course, filed a petition that eventually led to a declaration that prisoners are entitled to vote at the 2010 referendum. So later, prisoners followed up on that early legal win to push for a declaration that eventually acknowledged the right of prisoners to participate in presidential elections. So that shows, Kituo was empowering other people to pursue their rights, but also to shape the law in a way that protects their rights without necessarily our involvement. From the period between 2015 to date marks another historical period where Kituo has been working to consolidate its work here and abroad. And you've just heard messages of solidarity from our partners at a regional level and international level. So Kituo's involvement in those networks began round about that time. And that's when Kituo also realized that realizing justice for people in Kenya also required working beyond our borders, influencing policies at a regional level, East Africa community level, Africa Union level. It also required influencing processes at an international level. So that's how we ended up joining the Grassroots Justice Network, the African Alliance for People-Centered Justice, the African Center for Excellence in Access to Justice. So we still continue to expand our work to new areas, and this strategic planning launch will also bring out some of these new areas that Kituo has ventured into as part of the consolidation of our work. And let me not speak about that now. We'll talk about it as we launch strategic plan. So the challenge then I would like to pose to Kituo and to our stakeholders here. I think we've enjoyed a very glorious 53 years of our existence. So how do we imagine the next 53 years will look like for Kituo? This plan gives us a small peek into that future. So the challenge for us is to make sure that we build very hard and realize a better 53 years for Kituo starting in 2026. So with that, Madam MC, I pause there. Okay. All right, I hear it's a marathon for me, so I'll try my best. We are now at the stage where we'll be launching a self-representation manual for small claims courts litigants. And this is a project we've been implementing in Mombasa County through our regional office located in Mombasa, and with funding from Amkeni wa Kenya, which is UNDP Kenya's civil society strengthening project. And in turn, UNDP has been supported by partners who belong to a global network known as the Justice Action Coalition that has been advocating for innovation in provision of legal services to the people at the grassroots, those who are vulnerable and marginalized within this emergent concept of people-centered justice. So I will invite, before we launch the manual, and one of our guests here, Executive Director from FIDA, will help us in launching the manual. I would like to invite Program Officer from Mombasa office, Kingsley Tabu. Kingsley always is our program officer there, but he never hesitates to remind us that he's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So, Wakili Kingsley, please give us an overview of the small claims courts projects in Mombasa.
Thank you, ED. All protocols observed. Good afternoon. My name is Kingsley Tabu. Of course, before I am a program officer, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And I went to Alliance too. Yes, so today we're launching our self-representation manual. I think we're all Africans, and when a baby is born, there are stages before they're presented to the general public. Of course, parents do this to prepare the child for the world, and the vice versa, to prepare the world for the child. Today, we bring forth our self-representation manual. This manual is the result of grit, hard work, and passion from, of course, the Mombasa Regional Office. The manual itself has been developed by our consultant from Haki Africa in conjunction with several shareholders such as the judiciary, ourselves, persons from organizations such as Boda Boda Welfare Organization, and the likes. During this project, we came across a number of challenges. Of course, challenges are always there. Our biggest challenge was the fact that there's ever-changing jurisprudence. Implementing the small claim project as of right now has been a bit difficult because of this changing jurisprudence. I think for the advocates in the building, we can see that some courts are telling us different things. One court tells you that you can take cases concerning rent to it. Other courts tell you that you really can't take such cases. You find that when developing this manual, we had an issue with that. Our second issue as we're implementing the project was, of course, are we all listening? Yes, I saw some people had lost my attention. Was, of course, the few number of JOs in the judiciary. When we first started the project in the office, we noticed that we received a very high number of cases. I kid you not, every day I attend to 10 matters in the small claims court, and that's 5 days a week. One of the JOs in Mombasa gave me a name. She called me a seasoned advocate of the small claims court. I had mixed feelings about it, of course, because I'd rather be a seasoned advocate of the Supreme Court, but all is well. So you find that we're having a huge amount of cases that we're dealing with. So this is where I ask our partners, especially our development partners, please bring us more funding. More funding will allow us to implement the project effectively. by bringing in more staff and also holding trainings and developing more manuals such as the self-representation manual. Without further ado, as we are pressed with time, I'd like to present the manual itself, and I'd like to invite Chair, ED, and our PSK representative to the front. Thank you. The manual, please.
Cause you're a sky, cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky, cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the path. I don't care if you wanna tear me apart. I don't care if you do. In the sky, in the sky full of stars. So you're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. See the light of the morning.
Okay. So I'm informed that we have a representative from the National Assembly. And I think it's only also fair we take a photo with him of the Small Claims Court's self-representation manual. This matter is coming to the amendments to the acts are on their way to the National Assembly. It is our hope that the National Assembly will amend the law to make it even more easier for litigants with small disputes to have those disputes resolved at the small claims courts. And there's no other way of committing the National Assembly than getting a photo of their representative here, so that should they refuse to do that, then we have something to hold them against. Indio? Okay.
Together with Mary and Fida. Yes, karibuni sana. Okay, I've been given this simple chance to recognize Doreen Nalemo from NCAJ, Len Sanjogu from LRF, and Evelyn Arisi from Witness Protection Agency, and finally Wangari Kagai, the Director of Public Interest Litigation and Advocacy of the Law Society of Kenya. Karibuni sana.
So thank you very much, Conrad, for that. in order to catch up with the lost time, I've been asked by the MCs to take you quickly through the strategic plan. We wanted to do it in a more participatory way, have a PowerPoint, take you through the very important points on that PowerPoint, but we may not have to do that. We published an abridged version of the strategic plan. I hope everybody has it. Iko? Okay. So this summarizes our strategic plan. And just to explain the process, the plan was done by consultants commissioned by the board. And they began, of course, with the usual process of carrying out contextual analysis, performance analysis of Kituo for the last 5 years. How was our strategic plan designed? What did we achieve? What didn't we achieve? What were the lessons? They also helped us go through an analysis of our operating environment, external environment. They did pestels, and we were able to identify what were the key issues that Kituo needs to respond to out there for the next 5 years. And we also needed to take into account some of the significant developments that have occurred within our operating environment for the last 5 years. So out of this, we did a program analysis, and we were able to identify six strategic areas of focus for Kituo. Now, the first is economic and social justice, and this blends with the work that Kituo has been doing since inception, providing legal assistance to those who have socioeconomic rights violations, labor, health, education, etc. All those things that linked to provision of basic services as basic rights. Then the second priority area is legal aid and empowerment. Again, this is a continuation of the work that we've done since inception, providing legal aid, but now scaling it up to also reflect the empowerment of people, of communities, so that they can be able to pursue justice by themselves and with very little assistance from Kituo. And the launch of this self-representation manual also accords with that approach. You teach people to represent themselves so that people don't need to keep on coming to Kituo for this kind of assistance. The fourth area is migration, justice and governance. And this is also a continuation of work around refugee protection and ensuring asylum seekers in Kenya are not mistreated. But also this work has been internationalized. Kituo is part of the Global Litigation Steering Council, which also litigates on refugee issues, asylum seekers issues globally. Currently, we are part of a team that is before the African Court on Human and People's Rights. We are trying to seek an interpretation of state obligations on climate change, and our particular focus is on climate-related displacements, the so-called environmental climate change refugees. So, and other than that, we've also been litigating on asylum seekers abroad. Today, we got a judgment from the High Court on a case we had presented related to those migrant workers in Saudi Arabia. And the judgment was positive in one way, in the sense that the court acknowledged that the government of Kenya neglected its responsibilities of ensuring protection to those migrant workers abroad, and the harms they suffered are as a result of that conduct by our government, and therefore their rights were violated. But on the other hand, something which also rings bell with Gachagua case. No damages were awarded to the people on whose behalf we petitioned, despite the court finding that their rights had been violated. So probably that becomes an issue of appeal for Kituo. So the fourth area is governance, justice, and rule of law. And this is also a continuation of the work that we've done on public interest litigation, trying to hold the government accountable for not adhering to the constitution, for going against the tenets of rule of law. And in here, we'll also domicile our work on civic education and electoral justice, now that 2027 is around the corner. Land, environmental, and climate justice is both continuation of the work that we've done with communities on land issues, but also a new emergent area on environmental justice as well as climate justice. So already we are involved in research work that tries to see how can we enhance legal empowerment in order to address climate injustices in Kenya. But then we've also taken up recently cases on climate justice, one in Baringo and one in Kisumu. Baringo, it's related to the displacements that happened in Lake Baringo when the water levels went up. In Kisumu, we're representing farmers who are trying to hold the government accountable for not helping them build resilience. And therefore, they've suffered losses as farmers. And therefore, the government should compensate them for that. The last priority is on organizational development and sustainability. And this is where the work of consolidating Kituo as an institution will be domiciled, enhancing our internal operations, building the capacity of our staff, strengthening our regional presence, enabling us to serve our constituencies like the paralegal community. And I see it's very well represented here, working together with our networking partners. I see many of them here, and we appreciate your presence, but also helping us to stand on our feet, relying more and more on the resources that we generate as Kituo. And for that reason, we hope on this ground where we are holding this event, we shall build our Justice House as a multi-story building that will host not only our offices, it will host our meeting rooms, but we shall also create space for other people to come and have their offices rented out in our Justice House. So in a nutshell, those are the key priorities that Kituo will be pursuing for the next 5 years. So what's the implication of pursuing those priorities? Financial implication is that we need to raise at least 1.12 billion shillings for the next 5 years. 1.12 billion shillings. Seems that it's a lot of money. But President Uhuru told us we lose 3 billion shillings every day to corruption, yeah? So why should it be difficult to raise 1.2 billion in 5 years to do the good work that I've just explained to you? Honestly, it should not be difficult, right? So we'll try our best. And as you'll see how the money has been apportioned, legal empowerment, which is traditionally what we are known for, will take the largest share of monies directed towards programming for the constituencies that we serve. Land and environmental justice is number 2 because it also represents a new area which also has very heavy resource demands in terms of raising awareness, research, engaging in policy level advocacy, and also litigation in this area, which is extremely technical, which sometimes also requires litigation beyond our borders. Organizational development also takes a huge amount, and this also reflects what we said, that Kituo now has entered into a phase of consolidating itself. All this work will require a very strong secretariat, but also it reflects our ongoing efforts towards sustainability. Constructing the Justice House project will also take significant resources. So in a nutshell, yeah, we'll also embark on innovative resource mobilization strategies. Relying on foreign donors is becoming a very precarious enterprise. Those who relied on USAID can tell you the kind of disruptions they went through when Trump announced that they are no longer interested in funding democracy and human rights work in the developing countries. So for us, that's a wake-up call. But Kituo, let me say, we also took a hedging. We hedged ourselves by reducing our reliance on bilateral funders, and we engaged funders who may not necessarily be seen as traditional funders in the NGO funding landscape. So besides that, yeah, we'll try and deepen relationships with those who are currently supporting us, establish income generating activities, also pursue domestic resource mobilization, and also work with others, our networking partners here in joint fundraising efforts. So in a nutshell, that's our strategic plan in about 10 minutes. And having said that, I will invite, therefore, our chair, Advocate Justice Munyidhia, to invite our chief guest to make the keynote address, and thereafter we'll hand it back to our MCs, who will then take us through the launch of the strategic plan. So Justice Munyidhia, the mic is yours.
Asante sana. Now, just before I invite our chief guest, let me say that in this event, we have been honored to have a member from the National Assembly representing the Speaker. Mohamed Saleh is going to say Jambo, and he's going to another place so that you can listen. Welcome, Mohamed.
Thank you, Chair. Members present, partners to Kituo cha Sheria, the leadership of Kituo cha Sheria. My name is Mohamed Saleh. I am a legal counsel in the Office of the Speaker of the National Assembly. So to honor the invitation to the Right Honorable Speaker, we are here to say congratulations to the Kituo cha Sheria for achieving this milestone of launching a strategic plan 2026-2030. The 5 strategic pillars you have highlighted are critically important towards driving the agenda of justice for all in this country. And we will endeavor towards working with you and do all that's necessary towards ensuring that that's achieved. My little experience in working with the humanitarian sector in the DAB involved engaging with Kituo cha Sheria at the time while working as an implementing partner with UNHCR under different agencies. So your support and work towards the migration and vulnerable refugees who have come to this country due to conflicts either in Somalia or Sudan and based in Dadaab is invaluable and much appreciated. And we encourage you to continue in the same spirit so that together we can even achieve more. I want to thank you all for taking your time to be here and wish that you continue doing the good job and continue working with you going forward. Thank you so much, Chairman.
Thank you very much. And first, our regards to the Speaker. And of course, when the bill comes, scrutinize it so that we get a favorable amendment to the Small Claims Court. Asante sana. Thank you. Now, our chief guest this evening is Eric Kivuva, representing the President of the Law Society of Kenya, Mr. Charles Kanjama. Eric Kivuva is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. He is a mentor to many. He has served the Law Society now and is serving his second term in Nairobi. And I want to confirm that one of the biggest constituencies in our public interest litigation forum for lawyers comes from your branch. Chairman, we don't take that for granted. They have been supportive, and the cases that we have done been done through the support of your members who give their time on pro bono basis to serve that. Secondly, although we never used to have branches, but when Kituo was founded, our founders were also members here of Nairobi branch. Again, we don't take that for granted. So I want to invite you to come and give us your keynote address and help us to launch the strategic plan. Welcome. Let's give a clap to the chairman
Thank you so much, Chair. I must say that I'm greatly honored and also give the disclosure that I had come in this afternoon as a friend of Kituo, as a partner of Kituo. I did not know that the president, my president, Charles Kanjama Senior Council, will place this very heavy responsibility on me, but I take it with courage, and I hope that I will execute just the way that he would. The board, Kituo cha Sheria, my lord, partners, the team from the DPP, and all people present here, good evening. It gives me a great pleasure to be addressing you this evening. And indeed, the Law Society of Kenya has long recognized that the rule of law is a bedrock of a just and orderly society. In this spirit, we have been greatly privileged to work closely with Kituo cha Sheria, advancing initiatives that strengthen access to justice and safeguard the rights of all. This partnership reflects our shared conviction in justice, not only to be done, our shared conviction that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done for every citizen, regardless of status or circumstance. Today's theme, advancing people-centered justice in Kenya and beyond our borders, could not be more timely. It resonates deeply with the current state of the administration of justice, reminding us that the law is not an abstract concept confined to statutes and courtrooms. It is a living promise, a covenant between the people and the institutions that serve them. As lawyers, judges, and advocates of justice, we must stand firm in protecting the rule of law. This means resisting any encroachment on judicial independence, ensuring fairness in the delivery of justice, and defending the rights of the vulnerable. It means embracing innovation and reform so that justice is not delayed, denied, or distorted. People-centered justice calls us to look beyond procedure and precedent to lived reality of those who seek redress. It challenges us to make justice accessible, affordable, and responsive. It requires us to listen to communities, to empower families, and to protect children, women, and marginalized groups. Beyond our borders, Kenya must continue to be a beacon of legal innovation and integrity. Our jurisprudence, our commitment to ADR, and our embrace of technology can inspire reforms across Africa and the wider world. But let us be clear, none of this will be possible unless, as custodians of the law, we remain steadfast. The rule of law is fragile when neglected, but unbreakable when defended with courage and conviction. And so today, I call upon each one of us, advocates, judges, scholars, civil society sector, citizens, to recommit ourselves to this noble journey. Let us advance a people-centered justice, not as a slogan, but as a lived reality. Let us stand firm, protect the rule of law, and ensure that justice in Kenya and beyond remains a light that guides generation to come. I thank you.
I think we can give him a round of applause. For that impromptu, you did very, very well. Thank you so much, Chair. We really appreciate you. So now we are at the hallmark of this event. We really want to launch our plan. So I'm asking Secretariat team, let's get ready. Let's set it up. And we'll invite our chief guest, we'll invite the board, we'll invite the ED as we do this.
So can I have some music, please? As we have some music, may I recognize the presence of Mr. Justice Patrick Jeremy Okwaro Otieno.
This is sad.
Can we have a better clap for Judge? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Let's rise and dance, guys. Let's rise and dance. I want to invite the chief guest, Mr. Eric Kivuva, the ED, the board, the entire board, the chair of the board, our development partner, GIZ, Ms. Serio, JVI, UNDP, all of you, please come forward.
A legendary time cut a wine up a sand in the bamba. Na siwezi sema sana, tena siwezi bonga sana. I never had a time in my life when it vibe down the bamba. Na siwezi wacha nyama, tena waskulagi sana. Leo silali, nikukesha mitungi na washa na choma. Tena sijali, yamewashinda yao yetu wataweza. Leo silali, nikukesha mitungi na washa na choma. Tena sijali, yamewashinda yao yetu wataweza. Watati, Type in my life, then if I don't bamba. Na siwezi wacha nyama, tena waskulagi sana. Leo silali, nikukesha mitungi na washa na choma. Tena sijali, yamewashinda yao yetu wataweza. Leo silali, nikukesha mitungi na washa na choma. Tena sijali, yamewashinda yao yetu wataweza. Watati,
Usisikize haya mapenzi mini profesa juu hiyo kuna na mambo ya juu.
You may be seated. You may be seated. May I request the chair, the chief guest, and the board, and the ED of Ida Kenya, Sophia Kapelia, to remain so that we take a picture. My colleagues, we can leave the podium, the entire board. Mary Airo, I want you on the podium. Please come. So you'll just lift it and then we take a picture with it. Yes. Wapigeni makofi tafadhali. Let's pause with it, Judge. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's thank you so much.
Haya mapenzi mini profesa juu hiyo kuna na mambo ya juu.
Okay, thank you so much. At this point, I have been requested to invite a few of our partners who would wish to share their messages of goodwill. And I will begin by the representative from the National Legal Aid Services, who will speak on behalf of the Acting Executive Director for the National Legal Aid Services. Mercy, please come. Mpigeni makofi. And in the interest of time, maybe just 3 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. So allow me to make a few remarks on behalf of the CEO, National Legal Aid Service. So distinguished guests, the Executive Director of Kituo cha Sheria, partners in the justice sector, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor on behalf of the Chief Executive Officer of the National Legal Aid Service, Madam Fresia Githombi, to join you today for the launch of the Kituo Sheria Strategic Plan 2026-2030 under the theme Advancing People-Centered Justice in Kenya and Beyond. At the outset, I extend my warm congratulations to Kituo cha Sheria for this very important milestone. A strategic plan is a powerful statement of intent, and today you reaffirm your continued commitment to access to justice, dignity, and empowerment for all. So NLAS and Kituo cha Sheria, we both share a common mission of advancing access to justice for all, particularly the poor and marginalized. That is our main, actually, mandate of the National Legal Aid Service. We focus our services on the vulnerable members of the society, the marginalized and the indigent members of the society. So this strategic plan, it aligns with Article 48 of the Constitution of Kenya, as well as the Legal Aid Act, especially Article 48 on access to justice. So for many years, Kituo cha Sheria has been a key partner in legal empowerment, public interest litigation, refugee support, labor justice, and community legal awareness. Your contribution continues to strengthen Kenya's justice ecosystem. So the theme of this strategic plan, it speaks directly to the future of the justice delivery in Kenya. It is a people-centered justice theme, which is ensuring that justice is accessible, understandable, and also responsive to the needs of the ordinary citizens. It requires us to remove barriers such as cost, distance, and also complexity, while embracing innovation, collaboration, and community-based legal services. The National Legal Aid Service will remain committed to supporting this approach through the expanded legal aid services, outreach programs, a strengthened partnership with stakeholders such as Kituo cha Sheria. No single institution can achieve access to justice alone. Strong partnerships are essential, and at the National Legal Aid Service, we recognize Kituo as a key partner. We do referrals to Kituo cha Sheria, and we work in very many other areas such as legal awareness, community outreach, and strategic advocacy. The National Legal Aid Service looks forward to deepening its partnership with Kituo cha Sheria as you implement your strategic plan 2026 to 2030. Together, we can ensure that justice is not only a constitutional promise, but it is a lived reality for all Kenyans. So in conclusion, I commend Kituo cha Sheria for this forward-looking strategic plan and reaffirm NLA's commitment to continued collaboration in advancing a people-centered justice in Kenya and beyond. Congratulations once again, and may this strategic plan usher in greater impact, stronger institutions, and enhanced access to justice for all. Thank you, and God bless you. Asanteni.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mercy. I now want to call Joseph Riungu. to say something on behalf of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Mpigeni makofi akija. And as he come, may I recognize the IRC, Haki Jamii, and the Refugee Consortium of Kenya, who are our partners in the migration department. Wapigeni makofi jamani. Karibuni sana.
Good evening. It's a great pleasure to be here. Just seeing the chair of the board, it's good to disclose that he was my classmate in my master's class at the UON. It's also good to see my friends in the legal aid space. It's also good to disclose that I started my career in the public service in the National Legal Aid Program. And just being here, it's very exciting because it is our service. We are the ones who piloted it when it was a pilot program. I was in charge of the Family Division pilot program. And just seeing my colleague, Miss Mercy here, speaking and attesting and articulating that now it's a legal aid service, it's very exciting. Kituo cha Sheria has been a great stakeholder. We are all in the criminal justice system, and I'm glad to be here now that I'm in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and I take this opportunity on behalf of the Director of Public Prosecutions to congratulate Kituo cha Sheria, which is a key stakeholder in the justice system as part of the civil society space. It'll allow me just to share a message of goodwill that I'll state on behalf of the Director of Public Prosecutions, adopting the area protocols that had been set. It is with distinct honor to stand before you today, representing the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. At this historic milestone, I bring warm greetings from the Director of Public Prosecutions, who regrettably could not be here, but who deeply values the partnership we share with Kituo cha Sheria. We are not here merely to grace this event. We are here because the ODPP recognizes that we cannot achieve our core mandate of delivering fair, impartial, and accountable prosecution in isolation. We are here because we believe in the power of synergy. The launch of the strategic plan 2026 to 2030 under the theme Advancing People-Centered Service for All in Kenya and Beyond. Indeed, for Kituo cha Sheria, it's a bold and necessary declaration. For too long, the pursuit of justice has been viewed through institutional silos. The ODPP prosecutes, legal aid providers defend, but the reality is that a healthy justice system requires both sides to be strong, professional, and accessible. Kituo's focus on legal empowerment and the protection of vulnerable communities aligns directly with the ODPP's constitutional duty to ensure that justice is not a privilege for the few, but a right for all. When communities understand their rights, they can report crimes with confidence. When witnesses are empowered, our prosecutions become stronger. When justice is expedited, public trust grows. As we look toward the next 5 years, we acknowledge that the path to justice is complex. It requires more than good intentions. It requires coordination and mutual understanding. While our institutional mandates may differ, our ultimate objective is the same: to ensure that every Kenyan, regardless of their status, feels protective hand of the law. It is a spirit that the ODPP extends our hand for deeper, more structured cooperation. Let us move beyond ad hoc engagements and build a framework synergy. Looking at the pillars that were articulated by the AD, we would want to propose to strengthen our collaboration in several key areas. Joint capacity building. The ODPP is committed to developing joint trainings with initiatives with Kituo's legal officers. The second pillar, operational linkages. We will look towards creating seamless referral mechanisms between our prosecution teams and your legal advice centers. We must ensure that the communities you serve can access the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions without intimidation, and we in turn understand the challenges they face in seeking justice. Thirdly, shared advocacy, which is very critical. The ODPP stands ready to join Kituo cha Sheria in advocating for the sustained resources for the justice sector, adequate funding in legal aid, court infrastructure, and prosecution services is not an expense. It is an investment in national stability and the rule of law. Therefore, Kituo cha Sheria, your legacy is etched in the lives of millions of Kenyans who have found hope through your services. As you launch this ambitious plan, you know that you do not walk alone. ODPP walks with you. Let us turn this strategic plan into a collective action plan. Let us build a justice system where prosecutor, the legal aid provider, and the citizens are all partners in pursuit of truth and fairness. Thank you for inviting us for this milestone that you have achieved today. We look forward to a future one, unprecedented cooperation and lasting impact. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We are constrained with time, and because of that, we are forced to reduce our other list of speakers, which is our partners generally, to just 2. And because of that, I will first invite PSK to just greet. And if you want to give that opportunity to someone else, we will just use one person, and then we will close the part. So, Mary Airo, if you may come, just 2 minutes of greetings and 1 minute. Thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was ambushed, so my mind was so far away, but I take the honor to just stand before here and say that I think I'm very excited to just see that Kituo cha Sheria has, launched another strategic plan. And because when I was here at Kituo at 50, I was saying Kituo is my age mate. I was born the same year. So every time I hear that Kituo has an event, celebrating, milestones, and I'm like, yeah, I'm part of Kituo. I'm a twin sister to Kituo cha Sheria. So I'm very happy being here today, but also to appreciate the many years of working together. Yes, Kituo is one of the organizations that founded the Paralegal Society of Kenya. Then it was called the Paralegal Support Network. And today PSK has grown and has, brought professionalism into the paralegal practice. And, due to support of Kituo cha Sheria, of course, Legal Resources Foundation, Ecumenical Center for Justice and Peace, and International Commission of Juries, PSK now stands tall today with the very, put up structures that are there to, just regulate paralegal work. So we have the paralegal database in Kenya with a membership of around 800 paralegals. We have a search engine similar to that of the Law Society of Kenya. I usually tell people that when you want to engage an advocate, we also have quacks outside here who will tell you I'm an advocate, and they are not. So one of the ways is to check if this person is really an advocate through the search engine of the Law Society of Kenya. So we always look at the Law Society of Kenya, as our big brother in terms of just to ensuring that we keep the standards of the paralegal practice in Kenya. So I'm here today to just say congratulations, Kituo, and we are still going to be part of Kituo. You don't run away from or you don't delink from your parents, even if you get to 100 years. So we really appreciate and we say congratulations. Thank you.
Lastly, I wish to invite the ED FIDA Kenya, Sophia Kabiria. Karibu.
Good evening, everyone. I will ride on all the protocols that have already been established. and say that I'm here because my fellow AD invited me and told me that you need to come and see what we are launching. And I'm very glad that I did come. And honestly, post half a century old, this strategic plan is very visionary and it speaks a lot to what we are facing as a society. And I'm hopeful that your true north, that is 1.2B, continues to be your resilience anchor as we move on to the other half of the century. Because FIDA Kenya partners a lot with Kituo cha Sheria, and in fact, I feel like they are our bigger sister. I cannot say brother because you know FIDA. So because you're our bigger sister, we shall be looking up to you in various ways. I can see resilience is still there. I can see access to justice, which is a combined effort between us and Kituo cha Sheria in terms of upholding gender equality, continuation on legal empowerment, continuation on matters of access to justice, which is a key pillar for both of us. And I believe because of this launch, we will be doing more and more of partnership, and we wish you all the best as you implement, and all the best with the 1.2B True North for you.
Let's give her a better round of applause. We are slowly and quietly coming to the end of today's program. And now I want to invite Glory Kairi to give us a vote of thanks just before we cut the cake. So, Glory, karibu. Pigeni makofi.
I hope I'm visible. Yeah, can be quite short even with high heels. Anyway, thank you so much for the opportunity to give a vote of thanks. My name is Glory Kaire. I work here as an officer, and I am so thankful and humble that all of you made time this auspicious afternoon to come and grace this event. Thank you so much. You're all our dear partners, our development partners, and you have supported us for the past 53 years. Actually, we are turning 53 on the 7th of July, so tutaona kama tutaweka sherehe nyingine ya kama hii ya kucelebrate pia. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for making time. We really do request that please don't leave without eating. There's a lot of food that has been reserved for you, so please make sure you grab a snack even as you go prepare for the weekend. Unfortunately, there's no holiday on Monday, so I guess we'll just have to work with Saturday and Sunday. But anyway, be blessed. May your organizations be blessed. We hope to partner with each and every one of you in the future, in the days to come, and we pray that more and more bigger things will definitely happen. It's amazing to see the new chapter that we're unfolding, and I can't wait to see what Kituo has in charge, having been there in the previous SP and now seeing the new one. God bless you. And may you all have a good evening and an amazing weekend ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now, there was protocol for cake, but so if there's protocol for cake and you know you are ahead of protocol for cake, please come. I just want to invite the chair of the board, my people, Master Eric Kivuva, Dr. Eric Kibet, the ED and Mr. Justice. Can I repeat? The ED and Mr. Justice. Yes, our board member, the Mr. Justice. Can I repeat? Wakija. Mr. Justice Patrick Jeremy Okwaro Otieno. Wakuja hapa mbele watusaidie kukata keki. I am quietly sensing that gender will not balance, and so I will not eliminate anyone, but I will add one more. One more. One more is Wangari Kagai. of the Law Society of Kenya. Mpigeni makofi. Thank you. Thank you. So cake protocol. Cindy, Glory, just come. Yes. DJ some music as we cut the cake, or we cake the cut.
The champion, the lion is here. Bringing by Master.
Yes, thank you so much. You may sit. You may have your seats. You may have your seats. Thank you so much, our guest. Asanteni sana. Asanteni sana. DJ. Finally, as we now come to the closure, of today's event, I now want to invite George to come and close for us with a word of prayer. But I'm reminded that we also have media engagements with Citizen TV, so do not fly away so fast, our guests. Karibu sana.
Good evening and praise the Lord. I want just to stand up as we pray. Very well. We believe and pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, Lord, we want to thank you this evening, oh God, because, Lord, you are the establisher. You are the first and the last, oh God. That even before the foundations of the earth, Lord, you had foreseen this day that, Lord, it shall come to pass. And that, Lord, we are humble before you, that King of Kings, that we have launched this strategic plan, King of Glory, and that, Lord, the heart desires of our heart, that as we care for justice, O God, you will care for us, O King of Glory. You will expand our territory, Lord. The Lord, you will give us sound mind, King of Kings, that as we engage, King of Kings, we shall engage without fear, O King of Glory, Because, Lord, we know that you have gone ahead of us, O King of glory, and that, Lord, you have said that silver and gold belongs to you, King of kings. That as the plan has been launched, King of glory, you shall provide every coin that is needed, King of kings. You shall provide every resources that is needed, King of glory. And that, Lord, we pray, and that King of kings, we shall carry these things with integrity, King of glory. That, Lord, as we serve your people, you will honor us, King of kings. You will remembering our families. You will remember our country, King of glory. We love you, King of kings, because, Lord, you have brought us together. And that, Lord, you have given us this burden, King of kings. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray and believe. Amen.
Finally, is I want to invite for the very last time our executive director who wants to make a few special recognitions virtually, and then we have some snacks on the other side, so please do not leave. Welcome.
So thank you very much, MC, and again, without risking the ire of the MCs, we've recognized everybody except Kituo staff. So Kituo staff, could you please come here? Kujeni nyote. It won't take too long. Please karibieni. Kituo, naweza simama tu hapa mbele. Yeah. No, msishike keki kwanza. Yeah. So I'll first start with the Kituo staff who are here. Then I also recognize members of Kituo who have joined us virtually. So we have Teddy here, who's recently joined us as a volunteer advocate and a program that we're running in informal settlements, supported by JVI. We have Steve Simiu, who's an ICT consultant. We have Eric here, who's our accounts assistant. We have Deborah, who's an intern under legal aid program. We have Whitney, who also works together with Teddy in the program that I've just mentioned. We have George Omondi, who's a program officer, but insists that he's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. In the legal aid and empowerment program, we have Martin, who's also been a volunteer advocate in the program that Teddy Whitney is in. Susan, who's our legal assistant in the legal aid program. We have Boniface, who's been here for the last 5 strategic plans. Makofi kwake, he has seen it all. He's the administrator of our legal aid department. Then we have Betty, who's in charge of office administration, so she's an office assistant. We have John Mwariri, who's been with us 3 strategic plans. And he's the head of the legal aid and empowerment program. The judgment that I talked about on migrants in Middle East, yeah, he was the brains behind that litigation, and he's the one who broke the news to us this morning, and we're very happy, proud of the work that we are doing in legal aid and public interest litigation. We have Cindy, who's an intern in human resources department. Then we have Caroline. She's an administrator here. Many of you, when you visit us, she's the one who mans our reception. Then we have Richard. Richard is with the Migration Governance and Justice Program as a legal assistant. But we hope very soon he's going to graduate, and like George here, he will be insisting to be referred to as advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Then we have Patricia. Patricia is a program officer in the Social Justice Department. That's where our work on extractives, land, climate justice, social, economic rights is domiciled. Then we have Sarah. Sarah works with Richard in the migration justice. She has been with us. 2 strategic plans. Yeah. Then we have McKenna. McKenna is an intern with the legal aid department. Then we have Casey, just with migration justice program. We have Margaret. Margaret Kemuma is the program manager for our migration justice and governance program. So she's the chief priestess of refugee protection at Kituo. Then we have Esther. Esther Nekesa is the head of the social justice program that encompasses all those things that I was talking about, and she can talk about them better than myself. So there she is. Then we have Mary. Mary is also an office assistant, but for a long time worked with the Migration Justice Department before we brought them here from Isili. They had been in Isili for a long time. She has served us, is it 4 strategic plans, yeah? So she's right there. Jimmy, behind there, with a very good African shirt, mkono, and a matching beard. The program officer in a social justice program, but he oscillates. You'll find him in migration justice. You'll find him again in legal aid and empowerment. He's our Mr. Combined Harvester at Kituo. Then we have Hawa. Hawa is an intern in our Mombasa office. She's been supporting legal aid work there. Then we have Advocate Kingsley Taabu, Dash Alliance High School. I was in Alliance, yeah. Then we have Glory Kairi, Program Officer, Social Justice, but she also doubles up as my executive assistant. She's the bureaucratic muscle at Kituo, always pushing things. Then we have Joy. Joy is a program officer and a social justice program, but she's largely responsible for the regional and international networks that Kituo has been managing. Yeah, so there's Joy Mkono. Then we have Nyakundi himself. Nyakundi is our transport officer, head driver. He has been with us. How many strategic plans, Nyakundi? Saba. That is Ara Nyakundi. Yeah, he knows our vehicles inside out. And he also knows the passengers better than I do. Then we have, Eric had introduced Eric, but not Kibibi. Yeah, Kibibi is our administrator in Mombasa. And then finally, the person we've always seen on stage, Conrad Atiang. Conrad is a program manager, Kituo Mombasa office. He enjoys the distinction, of being the only area manager of Kituo's decentralized offices. But in this strategic plan, we hope to open one office somewhere, either Western, North Rift. So it's soon going to get a rival. You're going to lose that distinction very soon. So this is Kituo staff. Ronnie. Ronnie is the person who's made much of this happen in terms of communication, the design of these programs, the social media mobilization that happened. Is the one who designs all these things. Ronnie is our communications officer. Asante sana, Ronnie. So this is the Kituo team. I think we've not left anybody out, yeah? Oh, yeah, we have security, Mr. Monyoncho. Ako. Mama is keeping the peace out there. We call him the OCS here. Then we have Morgan. Morgan in Mkono. Yeah. And then Rono. Rono is not here. Oh, there is Monyoncho. Monyoncho, tafadhali salimia. Monyoncho has been here for the last 10 strategic plans. Then our finance, head of finance is away in Mombasa attending ISPAC training on non-profit organizations. I think that's meant to enhance our compliance. And then we have Joshua. Is Joshua? Oh, Joshua is working to ensure that we pay service providers. So this is our team. For the online participants, we have Joy Asiema, we have Salim Beche, Dr. Annette Mbogo, my predecessor, having retired. She is now in the venerable membership space. She's one of our esteemed members. I think those are the people we are recognizing today. So thank you very much, my MCs, and sorry for taking a lot of time. Thank you.
Asanteni sana. Have a lovely evening. Karibuni chai.